ERC, quality service since 1972, repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
This is the afternoon weather extreme video. This is for Friday, the 25th day of January, and all of a sudden, the old Pineapple Express stirring up some trouble with cold air in place. We've got the potential for some icing problems tonight. Things looking a bit more ominous than they did this morning. Let's go to some Skycam shots. First off, just some really nice shots this morning. Check out that scene looking right down the Alabama River coming from the Selma Skycam in Dallas County. That was about 6:30 this morning. There's the view from Jasper, and that's when the clouds were just moving in. Really a beautiful scene. And from Cullman, pretty much the same story. This afternoon, the skies become cloudy. There's a look at Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa showing 37. And off to the west, we've got some sleet and freezing rain near the Alabama-Mississippi border. And the dew points are low, so again, we'll see some wet bulbing or evaporational cooling. Down in Chilton County, the sky mostly cloudy. And Demopolis, mostly cloudy. There's the water vapor satellite imagery. And again, the old Pineapple Express blowing through Mexico and Texas into the deep south, pushing a wave in here on top of cold air at the surface. The models for the past couple of days have kept all of that down to the south, but all of a sudden this morning they picked up on the idea that maybe they were way too far south, and accordingly we've had to ramp up our forecast for this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow morning for the possibility of some icing here. There's a look at the current situation. We've got echoes on radar right across the central part of the state, most of that not reaching the ground except over Pickens, Greene, and Sumter counties of far northwest Alabama. And then you've got it widespread back over Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana. And no doubt this event is going to be wetter than we expected. The immediate problem this evening will be still west of here. This is a mesoscale discussion from the guys at Norman, and they've got the heaviest ice buildup for this afternoon and this evening south of US 82, north of Interstate 20, kind of between Monroe, Louisiana, and El Dorado, Arkansas, back over into western Mississippi. And you can see they're talking potential there for over a quarter-inch of ice, and that could be ugly. And then icing issues, of course, up into northwest Alabama. We've got an ice storm warning for parts of west central Mississippi, southeast Arkansas, northeast Louisiana, the counties in blue. Surrounding that, a winter weather advisory, and even though it's not showing up on this graphic, the Weather Service in Birmingham and Huntsville have both extended that into Alabama. Now, here's a look at the current conditions. And you see over in Mississippi, we've got 29 at Tupelo with some rain falling. Memphis at 30. And I say rain, it's freezing rain, of course. Columbus, the Golden Triangle at 31. Greenwood at 32. Greenville at 30. And that looks pretty messy in through there. And, of course, as you get into Alabama, Tuscaloosa's got 36, but the dew point is 11. So at the onset, we'll probably have some ice pellets falling, some sleet, and then that changes over to light freezing rain or rain, and that could create some icing on exposed surfaces, mainly the bridges. The roads ought to be just wet, but the bridges are the problem. The Birmingham dew point is 10, 37 degrees, and of course the low-level thermals on the models today were awful. They had expected us to be up there close to 50, and here we are in the mid-30s. So you live by those things, you die by those things. And there's a big picture, and you can see the cold air nosing down into Mississippi, North Alabama. It's very shallow. That's the reason we're not expecting a lot of snow with this, mainly rain, freezing rain, falling through a warm layer aloft. We'll take a look at the NAM. This is the 18Z NAM valid at midnight tonight, and that looks pretty messy. Now, the freeze line at 5,000 feet on the new run here is up there in the Tennessee Valley. I just don't think it snows much around here. I know the guys in Huntsville have mentioned maybe 2 or 3 inches for Cullman, and I guess it's possible, but for most people along the Interstate 20-59 corridor, the issue is going to be sleet and then a change over to freezing rain. And quite frankly, sleet's not a big problem. It's just ice pellets, and rarely will an accumulation of that cause any serious driving issues, but it's that freezing rain that's the problem. Rain, liquid rain that falls when temperatures are 32 or colder, that's the issue, and with the evaporative cooling effect, we'll probably see some of that. And we've got it already coming up into West Alabama, as you saw. That's midnight. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. That looks pretty messy. And you do wonder if just maybe some parts of northeast Alabama could see some snowflakes, and I'm talking areas north of Gadsden, north of Cullman, up around Lake Gunnersville and Mentone and Fort Payne and Scottsboro. But again, most of that would be light rain or freezing rain down here. Noon tomorrow, it all winds down. Should be out of here by mid-morning, and 6 o'clock, we are dry. So winter weather advisory for the possibility of bridge icing tonight and tomorrow morning. Keep that in mind, and we'll keep a close eye on this thing. Sunday, we warm up. We go up in the 50s, and then Monday of next week, underneath the ridge, big trough out west, that'll push us up in the low 60s Monday. Should be a really nice day. Partly sunny. You'll have very few memories of this icy situation tonight. And then Tuesday of next week, unfortunately, the model continues to trend drier with this thing coming in. It's got the surface low way, way north over Canada, and with dynamics that are somewhat limited, I just don't know if that's going to be a big rain event. That's suggesting rainfall amounts under 1/4 of an inch on Tuesday. And note that cold 1,036 millibar high back behind it. And then Wednesday, the boundary goes down into far south Alabama, and we dry out again. A little cooler, but nothing extremely cold with that. Thursday of next week, here comes the next trough. And the surface low develops south of Shreveport. That looks like a warm front lifting northward. That looks pretty wet. So Thursday and Thursday night of next week will highlight rain and storms. Maybe that'll bring us over 1 inch of rain if this is right. And then Friday, the system lifts on out. That's a week from today. And it will be turning colder. Notice the 540 line down to the Tennessee Valley. Now, we'll go trolling a bit real quickly here. This is the 6th of February. Look at the trough rolling in here. That's a fun storm there with rain to snow. But remember, hey, there's no skill in identifying anything specific out here, but the model has been suggesting this for a few days. And then on the 10th, at the end of the cycle, trough back over the southwest U.S., and you can see wet weather here. So the bottom line is the weather looks awfully unsettled for the next 16 days, but as we always do, we'll take these things one at a time. That's it for the afternoon weather extreme video. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here over the weekend, Brian Peters will have those for you tomorrow and Saturday. My next video comes up Monday morning at 7 o'clock, and of course we'll have frequent updates here on ABC 3340 tonight and tomorrow morning as this whole thing unfolds. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, and God bless.
Weather.